Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Are you feeling good? You guys are still, it's cold outside, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm hearing that in your voice. Are you feeling good? Yes? Okay, now we're going to do a few things to get ourselves warm. Hello, Glenn. Can you come forward? Yeah. So, Glenn, come over here. Come and stand here. So, we're going to do a few things. So, imagine Glenn is from Liberia, and I'm also from Liberia, but we got separated during the Civil War. And then now we are meeting each other in Ter Apel. That's where you ask for asylum when you come to Holland. So, and then I see Glenn. I say, hey, is that you, Glenn? You say, yeah, it's me. Is that you, Glenn? Yeah, is that you, Glenn? Are you still alive? Are you still alive? Nice to see you. Come on. Yeah. How are you doing? How's your father and your mother and your brothers and your sisters? Great. You have to answer and keep. Okay, good. We're going to do the same. So you stand up on this side and you stand up on this side. And you're going to look at the other person on this way and you look at the other guys on this side. Please, can you stand up, please? Okay, now you're going to do just what I did with Glenn. You go to the other, you embrace, and you ask about the father, the mother, the brother, the sisters. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go! Hey, be excited. You've seen him for a long time. Yeah! And you, how are you doing, Bart? Is everything okay with you? Yes. Yes. Your father. Also. Everybody's okay? Okay. So how is that going? We are not yet awake here. Okay, we're going to do the second thing now. We're going to do the second thing. Most refugees who come this time to Holland, they are coming from 2 countries. They are coming from Syria and they are coming from Eritrea. So when you meet one another, if you're from Eritrea, please, Case, can you come? Thank you, Case. Yes. So when you meet one another from Eritrea, you greet the following way. You come like this. You put your shoulders to my shoulder and you go 1, 2, 3, 4. And again like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. And then you say, hello, okay. Okay, are you guys ready to do it? Yeah. Are you ready to do it? Say yes. Oh, my God. Now you try. Come on. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. The shoulders, yes. Yeah. Okay. So we have greeted one another, haven't seen one another for a long time. But you see, the second thing we do in Africa, everything we do in Africa, we start by dancing. If we do not dance, then we know the gods are not going to be happy. And everything we do is going to be a failure. So we're starting this conference today, and the first thing we're going to do, we are going to dance. It's very easy. The dance is very easy. I'm going to be here. I do some movement, and I'm going to go down. I'm going to tick somebody. The person comes here. You do some movement, and everybody do the same movement. So everybody is going to participate. Even if you're standing there, you're going to participate. So don't worry. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Great. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We are in Holland, but you do it. 1, 2, 3. Can you put some music? Great. Okay, please. Can you stand up, please? Ladies and gentlemen, come in! for? Who's going to be next? Yes. Great, great, great. Okay. Wow, you guys are great. You guys are great. Thank you very much. 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 Wow. That was great. That was great. Well, so that's what we do. When we've not seen each other for a long time as refugees, we embrace each other, we greet each other, we're very excited to see one another, and we dance. We celebrate life, because life can sometimes be very short. Because most times in life, you lose friends, you lose relatives, but there's always some need to celebrate when you're still alive. So that's why we do that. Okay, so whenever I lose some, enthusiasm during this talk, I will just do one thing, and you have to encourage me. If I lose enthusiasm, I will say, Maku Makuba, and all of you will say, ha, ha. You get it? You try it? Maku Makuma. Maku Makuma. When I say ha, ha, you say ha, 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 ha. Ha, ha. Maku Makuma. Maku Makuma. Ha, ha. Ha, ha. Great, great, great. So after we meet each other, we dance and we greet, we celebrate, we start to tell stories. And now I'm going to tell you a few stories about my life. In Africa, we do say, it's not about where you come from. It's not about where you were born. It's not about where you love to be. It is that place that is good for you that is your home. We also say in Africa, in order to survive in a new country, you have to forget and you have to remember. But what do you need to forget? And what do you need always to remember? 24th December 1989. I was together with my friends from my theater group. We were celebrating that we had a beautiful year when all of a sudden, on the BBC program, Focus on Africa, I heard that Charles Taylor have invaded the country and that his militias were occupying the eastern part of the country. I thought, this is a joke. I looked outside, nothing has changed. But the months that followed, everywhere in the country, there was no wind, there was no water, there was no air. Bodiless earths filled the street. The earth started bleeding. Children shrinking. We didn't even have tears anymore to cry for the dead. Our lungs were every day breathing poisonous gas. Our beautiful land of liberty has fallen. Even our parents, who in the past would go everywhere to provide us food, were falling before our own faces, down. And they were now serving us food for the flying vultures. What do we do in this situation? Good title, Fight or Flee. What do we do in this situation? Should we stay or should we flee? If we try to flee the country, we might be killed on the way. Or should we stay? Because this madness cannot remain forever. But all of a sudden, we started seeing that our young men, who in the past would out of respect greet the elderly, they started beheading their fathers, raping their mothers, and converting their own sisters into sex slaves. I stood from a considerable distance, and I was looking at this place where the execution is going to take place. There were these metal barrels filled with sand and the sticks on top of them. I was looking. The men brought forward. You know, I've heard so many stories about these men who were being brought forward to die. They told me these are men without love. These are dangerous men. These are men without compassion. But one of these men started singing a song. It was singing a song that I knew. And due to his singing, I no longer can forget. He kept singing. The difficulties of this world surrounds me. My heart goes into every direction. My soul ponders. Come to me, my deliverer, so that I do not fall. The gunmen march forward with the rifles in their hand. They get a sign from their leader. They kneel. They get another sign. They shoot. 8 of the men were being hit. Their heads fell to the ground. One not, it was the singing man, he kept singing. They got another sign, they shoot all 9 in the direction of the living man. This time is a hit. The show is over. During this war, there was almost no food to be found anymore. People were dying like flies from dehydration, from hunger. But a girlfriend of mine had food. She had food because her friend belonged to one of the militia group. So during the war, sometimes I would visit her and she would give me something to eat. One day, I went back to her. This time, she didn't have so much for me. She only had 3 donuts. And so happily, I was going back home. But our boyfriend came suddenly around the corner. He was holding an AK-47 in his hand. And he screamed, "Stop! I'm going to kill you. You belong to the rebel of Chastelo." I said, "No, I'm not a rebel. Please don't kill me." He hit me with his gun. And I felt on the ground. I felt nothing. But it's quite strange. When you stand before death, different things come into your mind. And for me, at that moment, what was in my mind was that I would die right here on the street and that my parents would never find my body. And that was the last thing that I wanted. So I started crying and said, "Please don't kill me, I'm not a rebel." And he hit me once more. There are these funny stories that goes on during the war. And one of the stories is that when you come close to the rebels, they do not shoot you. They do not shoot you because they know that when your blood touches them, they themselves would easily die. I don't know if it is true or not true, or not a truth. I don't know if it is true or not. But what I did was to run as close as possible to this rebel, and he kept hitting me back. And while we were doing this game of death, somebody came around the corner. A man, I've never seen him before, and I will never see him again. And this guy asked the question, "What is going on here?" I tried crying, I tried to explain, but he said, "I know you. I know you." And he begged the rebel, "Please, let him leave." So that word of this man became a kind of motto for my life. I didn't know him, but he knew me. So I realized that from that moment, it's not the most important thing is not for me to know people, but for people to know me. So after this incident, my family said, "Now you have to leave this warring situation." Before the war happened, I had one of the most popular programs on Liberian television. And so I came to Holland. When I came here, I knew nobody, and nobody knew me. I was a celebrity in Liberia, and here I was a nobody. Because when you come to Europe, you are transformed from whoever you were, whether you were a lawyer, whether you were a doctor, whether you were a student, you become an asylum seeker, and you live in an asylum seeker center, you lose all your dignity, you lose all your dignity, sometimes you even lose your pride, and you lose things you lose your friends and families, but the most important thing is you don't know what to do anymore with your life. But while living in the asylum seeker center, I decided to do something. First, I tried to learn Dutch. But how do you learn Dutch when everybody in Holland keeps speaking English to you? So, well, I did mine in a very simple way. I saw the Dutch language like a new play that I have to learn. So when I'm learning a new play, I learn the text from my head, and I go outside and I try to interact with people with the text. So a few things I try to speak like the Dutch. Like I would say, please, sir, can you say the word Groningen? No, Groningen. Yes, very good, but you try to do very good. Can you say huishoudbeurs? It's a Dutch word, eh? Huishoudbeurs. No. You should put some hair in the H. House. Very good. But anyway, I did my best to learn Dutch. It was almost impossible to learn Dutch in the first way. So I decided to do something. I decided to act like the Dutch. So I went to the shop, and with the little money that I got, I bought for myself a pair of typical Dutch wooden shoes. So for more than 3 years, I would walk through the street of Holland. I would go to the police. I would go to the market. I would go to the job office with my wooden shoes. And then all of a sudden, all the Dutch people started speaking to me. All of a sudden, the Dutch people knew me. I didn't need to know them. They knew me. And they would say, look, that is the African on the wooden shoe. Once more, like we say in Africa, it's not about where you come from. It's not about where you love to be. There is that place that is good for you. That is your home. My home is now here. Here with you, who is not afraid to open your heart and your soul for me. For you who dare to embrace an outcast like me. And thanks to you, I can make my crooked path straight. I can make my dirty river sweet. This moment, what do? I'm now working with other asylum seekers, other refugees who came to Holland like I came. But I had to wait for 5 years before starting my life again, before studying here. And I feel those time wasted. I don't want any other refugee to waste their time. I don't want any asylum seeker to waste their time. I want them to spend every day of their life developing their talents, regaining their values, and contributing to the society from their talents and their value. And that is what I do, what I'm busy with at the New Dutch Connections, together with a lot of volunteers. So today I want to challenge you. If you are here in this hall as a volunteer of the Red Cross, and you believe that after saving people from crisis, you want to give them their value and their dignity back once more, then we can work together. You and me can do something together to give the value back to refugees, to asylum seekers, and those who arrive the European shore seeking for protection and seeking for a new life. I want to thank you for your time, and I would end again with the saying, Makuma Kuba! Makuma Kuba! Ha, ha! Ha, ha! Thank you very much.